Okay, so this file is called Datalist Pivot Table Work File. So if you do want to follow it through, that's the file that you need to open. We're going to continue with the pivot tables, but this time, rather than using the preset ones, we'll have a look at creating our own completely from scratch. So just make sure you click somewhere into your data, onto the Insert tab, and then Pivot Table. The table range, because I'm sitting in it, it's dotting that round and that's the range that it's using. I don't want to put the pivot table on a new worksheet, so I'm going to go for existing worksheet. You could just type the location directly into that box there, or click on the red arrow, which puts you onto the worksheet, and then it's a case of clicking on the cell where you want the pivot table to appear, back into the dialog box and press OK. So it's given me a blank pivot table here, and all the pivot table fields and etc. over here at the right hand side. So firstly, we'll have a look at the different occupations that we have and how many of those we have. So I shall click and drag onto occupation, drag that to the columns. So that's actually putting the occupations across the top there, which if you've got a few, it can end up being a bit too wide. So I shall move the occupation to the row, drop that into there. And then I want to tot up how many actors we have, how many boxes, etc. So we'll take the occupation again and drop that into the value so it counts the occupations, and there we have it. I'll take those out and drag them back up and let go. This time we'll look at the age ranges, so we'll put the age range into the row, and then we want to know how many 20 to 29-year-olds we have, or 30 to 39, etc. So the age range will also become the values. Okay, so within these age ranges, perhaps we want to know how many male or female we have. So we'll take the gender and drag that underneath age range. So between 20 and 29 we have 7 people, 2 female, 5 male. 30 to 39 we've got 7, 3 female, 4 male. 40 plus 3 and 3. Okay, I'll take those back up. So I'm simply clicking and dragging them, letting go back up into the table. Let's have it the other way round. We'll have the gender first, then we'll have the age range as a sub to that, and then we will count the gender. So you've got the same kind of report, it's just a little bit, maybe a bit easier to read this way around, I think. I'm going to leave the age range in, but take out the gender. And we'll just do a count of the age range. I'm going to add a filter onto this, so let's put the gender as the filter. So the gender then comes up here, it's showing all. Let's go to the drop down and we'll just have a look at female. Back up to the drop down and we'll look at male. Okay, so we've got that on the filter there, or let's go back to all. You could also search, if you did have a long list coming up, you could do that search bit there as well. going to take gender out of the filter, so I'll just pop it back up there. Pop the age range back up and the count back up. Okay, I think we'll go with age range first as the row. Then we'll have gender as the row. And then we'll have a count of the age range. I'm going to have the occupation, but rather than do it as a filter, I'm just going to show you a slightly different way. So this involves the slicers up here. So when you're working on the pivot table, you'll automatically have these pivot table tools that have popped up. In fact, I'll just make a slight change. I'm going to take out the age range. So with a total of 8 females and 12 males. So I'm going to force a change in that table. So let's go to Will Smith. I'm going to make him Steffi Graf. And choose a tennis player. I've got these set up on drop downs. If you haven't looked at that session, you need to find the session that's called Creating Drop Down Lists and show you how to get those up there. Steffi is a female. It hasn't automatically updated the table. You need to do that. So because I was working outside of the pivot table, once I've clicked into the pivot table, I've actually still got my normal home icons here. So I need to activate the pivot table tools, and now I'm showing the pivot table icons, and one of them that you have there is refresh. So we've got now 9 female and 11 male. Okay, I'm going to put a slicer onto this. So rather than putting a filter on, I'm actually going to have the age range as the filter. I don't need that on there anyway. Oh, gender, count of gender, sorry, put that back on there. Right, so 9 female, 11 male, and the age range, if I drag that under gender, then obviously it comes up there. But what I'm going to do with that is put a slicer on. So insert slicer. Just make sure you clicked into your pivot table when you do this. Insert slicer. And I'll have the age range as the slicer. So I can choose 20 to 29 year olds, 30 to 39, you see the numbers changing, and 40 plus. To delete a slicer, just make sure that you sort of clicked onto the outer edge and just press delete. I think I might have a better, let's look at a better option for that. So we'll take the gender out. So we will have gender, count of gender. Let's try the slicer again. And this time I'll put the occupation, I think, maybe as the slicer. So insert a slicer. I was going to put it in the filter then, and we're not doing filtering, we're doing slicing. So I'll insert the slicer and occupation. So if I choose actors, it tells me I have just 1 female actor, because we just took Will Smith out, didn't we? Boxers, we have 1 female, 2 male. Cricketers, they're all male. Tennis, 4 female, 3 male, track and field, 3 female, 2 male. So you can use the filter, which actually would show on the pivot table itself, or you can use these slicers. And then we'll delete the slicer by just pressing delete. Make sure you clicked on it and then press delete. So I'll put my age range back under to gender. And it looks like we've got some filters set on there. Look, still, we'll select all on that. Age range has got a filter on as well. Select all on that. Okay. So you could then quite quickly generate a chart from that. I might take out the genders and we'll just do the chart on the age ranges. Okay. So we'll have a count of age range. And then let's chart it. So activate the pivot table tools, generate a pivot chart. That's how it would look, or maybe you'd want it as a pie chart. It's only got those 3 ranges there, and then press OK, and then you've got all the normal things that you can do with charting, which I do have a charting session that you could have a look at if you haven't done charts before. Okay, and that completes the session on creating your own pivot tables. Okay, thank you.